And welcome back to more Pikmin! So last time, we went over a few optional enemies in the main game. So this time, all that's left is Challenge Mode. It's the single day challenge mode. How many Pikmin can you grow in a day? So all 5 regions are available to us with their own set of best scores. So for the sake of demonstration, let's go to the final trial. So immediately, a lot of things are a bit different. We have a few Pikmin at the start to pluck here, but the dolphin is missing, meaning we can't heal. Also, there are no ship parts to worry about. There are different enemies, including this dwarf Bulborb, and even the visuals and music are slightly different. The lighting is slightly darker in challenge mode, and the music is slightly sped up, which honestly makes everything feel a little bit more urgent and kind of ominous. Since our goal is to see how many Pikmin we can raise in one day, I would recommend trying to have each pellet carried back by the corresponding Pikmin type, more so than in the main game, because the extra 1 Pikmin can make a big difference. Over here is an enemy we haven't fought yet, the Dwarf Bulbear. So these behave very similarly to the Dwarf Bulborbs, except they do this little backflip, which the Bulborbs will not do. Beyond that, they're still fairly easy enemies to defeat, like so. That is actually very dangerous fighting enemies like that in this mode because of not being able to heal. Something else worth noting is the time limits vary by region. So, for example, the impact site has a time limit of around 11 minutes, which is shorter than a normal day length in Pikmin. On the other hand, the other areas, except for the final trial, have much longer timers, like the Forest Naval's timer is around 16 minutes, and the Forest of Hope and Distant Spring have timers of around 19 minutes. So they are tailored to the fact that those regions are particularly big, and thus they want to give you extra time to explore. Even then, there are max numbers that you can raise, and it is very difficult to hit those max numbers, apparently. I think it has been done in like tool-assisted speedruns, but in terms of like real-time runs, I don't know if it's actually been achieved on every map. So for example, the best score for the final trial is 299 Pikmin, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's specifically the Distant Spring, where the maximum is basically tool-assisted only at this point, but it has... people have gotten close to it, like, in the ballpark. The other areas, people have legitimately gotten the best scores without using a TAS, which is actually super impressive when you think about it. Because of the amount of precision, because they barely give you enough time on some of the areas. Like, if a lot of mishaps happen, like bosses take too long to defeat, or if a bunch of Pikmin trip or fall into hazards and you have to stop and whistle them, those are precious seconds that could have been spent raising more Pikmin. I'll be honest though, I really don't play challenge mode very much in any Pikmin game. Honestly, this is probably the worst challenge mode, but even then, it's still pretty fun. Like, if you noticed, there weren't any high scores on this file because I just generally haven't tried challenge mode on the Wii version at all. So yeah, I will say I like Pikmin 2 and 3's challenge modes a lot better, but this is still a fun diversion. So yeah, we have roughly a little over 13 minutes for this, on this particular area. And I'm pretty sure there is a boss fight, so this is going to be interesting. So yeah, this wall isn't here anymore, by the way. The wall is actually over there, blocking fire and a blue pellet in that corner. For the sake of not losing Pikmin, I'm not sure if I should leave this Wollywog alone or not, or if I should attempt to fight it, because I really haven't fought any of them on screen. By the way, this cardboard box is still here, so one thing I didn't demonstrate in the main playthrough is, because of the better pointer distance on the Wii version, it is actually possible to skip the path and just toss the Pikmin over here. I am pretty sure that's not possible on GameCube, at least. Also, the bombs are in different places. There should be some bomb rocks around here, but not in these little places that they were before, these little like pipes. They should just be out in the open, actually. So yeah, it's a really weird way to experience these areas because of just how familiar they are, and yet they're so different still. By the way, when plucking Pikmin, I would advise potentially aiming the cursor away from water in a case like that, because you can accidentally throw Pikmin while plucking, so yeah, I would recommend keeping the cursor away, like so. So yeah, that was a little bit terrifying, but let's collect this with some of the yellow Pikmin, and then use the remaining yellow Pikmin to collect bombs. By the way, it looks like the Wollywog is kind of stuck over there. By the way, something else I forgot to mention is, if you don't pluck a yellow, or just pluck a flower Pikmin, it will eventually go away, and then turn back into a leaf. You don't lose the Pikmin if you forget to pluck it in time, but it will go back into the ground, and then you have to wait again for it to sprout back up. So it's a little bit inconvenient, but not the end of the world. You honestly don't see it very often in the main game. It definitely happens a lot more in challenge mode, where Pikmin are like pre-planted. So far we're not doing great if the best score's 299, because we've only raised 119 Pikmin, so that's a lot less. I feel like there's a boss here. Let's actually investigate. Maybe not. There it is. There's a beady Longlegs. So yeah, let's not worry about that for now, and try to find other resources for Pikmin instead. That was an interesting throw arc. I mean, I guess that works. That definitely is an effective way to deal with a Wollywog. But I hope we're not short on bombs now. Also, I'm pretty sure it's stuck to this arena, so luckily it won't be able to hurt us. I hope. At least I think that's the case. I would like to assume that, but I'm not bursting with confidence, clearly. But yeah, it is cool having, like, remixes of existing maps. Some have really weird enemies, too, like, enemies like the Mamuta, I think, even appear in some of the challenge mode maps outside of the impact site, so that's really cool. So yeah, I'm not exactly the best at detailing all of the changes, because I genuinely don't know what they all are. But yeah, there are definitely some cool additions to these areas. Like this. These little geysers were definitely not there before. And to get there, we have to go through there with blue Pikmin, or we could have red Pikmin carry it down, and then have the blue Pikmin carry it later. That would probably be better. But that's a case of, like, here, there's a little leaf, because we did not get to it in time while it was a flower. So yeah, I'm gonna worry about that later. Yeah, we're not even at half of the, okay, now we're at half of the possible score, at least. So we're not doing horrible, we're just not doing, like, great, I would say. So this is scary. It looks like they're gonna try to take it through where the, Edie Longlegs is. That seems like a really poor idea. Let's see how this goes. I'm not too concerned about losing Pikmin in this mode. That was really close. They are lucky to have gone out of that in one piece. I am going this way really quickly because I'm pretty sure there are shear grubs over here, so really quickly I should probably take care of these first. We should be okay in terms of health, like even just fighting them like this, we should still be fine. And these are just the other kind that don't hurt Pikmin, so we can fight them with Pikmin, no problem. So yeah, obviously with practice, this wouldn't be too bad. Without practice, I'm a little bit flustered at how to actually get everything here in one run. I can see why it wouldn't be that terrible, but I would definitely need practice, which I do not have. Alright, like this pellet over here, like what's the best way to get that? What's the best way to fight a beady Longlegs in a very short amount of time? Things like that. I'm also not sure if the Pikmin need to be out of the ground to count. There's actually another wall that I completely forgot about, so whoops. So yeah, this is a very interesting alternate look at a level like this. Yeah, there are pellets over here, sadly, so I suppose a better way to go about this would be to not get the beady Longlegs to fall down and then collect everything first. That would definitely be the better option. But I like how in this case, because we really don't see a whole lot of this area, this kind of gives you an excuse to see more of the place than you normally would. Like this little offshoot path, you don't ever need to go there normally, so it's a nice little way to re-experience a familiar area, even if it's a little bit like trippy trying to navigate with so many minor differences, and major differences in all fairness. So yeah, 170 plus, so we've raised about 70 Pikmin because we started with about 100. We might be able to get a few more, but probably not. This will probably be it. So that would be about 185. By the way, you can't go to sunset in this mode, which makes sense because you're basically given just enough time to do everything. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight the enemy because of losing Pikmin, but let's see if we can explore a little bit more. I would like to get that blue pellet, to be honest, but I don't think I have enough time, sadly, at this point. Maybe I do. Depends on where the blue Pikmin try to take it, I guess. If they take it through the water, that's a maybe. If they try to take it across land, that's a definite nope, because of the fire. And just trying to get them past the fire is the other question. Actually, this pellet might be easier to get comparatively. Never mind, that's a wall. So yeah, I don't think this is gonna work, but I want to try it. Never mind, this is definitely not going to work. Also, I don't know if Pikmin can be left behind, so maybe I shouldn't try this. Maybe I should just whistle everyone and make sure I'm playing it a little bit safe. So yeah, that was a pretty, not so great run, but yeah, that's a quick look at how challenge mode works. It's fun, just not really my cup of tea, specifically for this game. But yeah, kind of a neat alternate mode. I mean, we got the best score because I haven't actually tried this mode before. But, yeah, those are our final stats. We ended up with a lot of, like, a pretty even split of all 3 types of Pikmin, I guess, so that's kinda cool. Again, about 114 shy of the potential maximum, so not great, but not bad either. And it will save your record, of course. For the sake of time, I don't think I'll be showing any of the other maps for this playthrough, but it is kinda cool having an alternate look at everything, like different enemies, different, object placements. It's kind of a nice way to, like, re-experience these areas with a different objective and different layouts. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth trying at least once for each area, just to see what's changed, for one thing. But yeah, that's our quick look at challenge mode. So with that, that was the last thing I wanted to show for Pikmin. This was a really fun playthrough. I'm glad I got to redo my old Let's Play with this version as well, because of this version just being so familiar, but also kind of different because of a few quirks and changes beyond the controls even. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this playthrough. This was a lot of fun, and at some point I would like to redo Pikmin 2 because that was an even older playthrough, and eventually get to Pikmin 3, either the Wii U version or Deluxe at some point. But with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for something different.